This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
The year's wrapping up, Abe. But there are a few things that never sleep, and money and I guess Wall Street does go on break sometimes, but it feels like it's always
Sometimes,
going.
but not often.
And the government shut down. There's a lot of wonky things that have been going on lately. Because I was going to say, it seems like lawmakers also this time of year things will happen. Like all of a sudden, it's like, what? Did they just pass a law like on December 31st?
Yeah, that happened last December, actually.
And do we need to know what it was?
During like the Christmas break.
Yeah.
It did. That happened.
So let's unpack some of the things that you want folks to know about. This is Abe Abich, financial advisor, founder of Abich Financial Services, a retirement planning firm, local independent in Ashburn, Virginia, right there in the D.C. metro area. I'm Heather Branch here to ask Abe some of the many questions that you have when it comes to planning for retirement. And of course, this time of year, so many of us we're focused on the holidays. There is a hustle and bustle that comes only with this time of year, Abe. But it's also a good time to review our retirement and our tax strategies. The Secure Act 2.0 has already introduced some changes. More are coming in 2026 in the new year. So what do you want people to know about in regards to strategies they might want to implement, maybe even before the year's end?
Yeah, so we're down to about 45 days or so as of the time of this recording.
Yeah.
But so there are about four things that a lot of people should be aware of. This won't impact everybody, but probably a lot of people watching this and listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
So number one, if you are between the ages of 60 and 63, you're still working, then a new provision came out this year that allows for you and people in your age range to be able to contribute more to your 401k, your TSP, your employer-sponsored plan. It might be a 403b. And as long as your employer plan allows for that, which it should, there's an additional catch-up amount. I think it is, I don't have the number in front of me, but I think it's $3,750, I believe. But it's about an additional $4,000, a little less than that, that you can contribute to your employer-sponsored plan in addition to the regular catch-up contribution. So it comes out, in the low 30,000s. I don't have the number in front of me again, but it's I think it's around
34,000 is what a quick Google is saying. Yep. Okay.
Correct. Right. So it's an additional like $3,750, but that's an additional approximately $4,000 that can be added to your retirement plan that you might be able to deduct as well, might be able to. So that's that super catch-up contribution provision that was brand new for this year. Again, only for people between the ages of 60 to 63.
Right.
So if you're watching or listening to this right now, you weren't aware of that could be an additional contribution and maybe even deduction that you can take advantage of before the end of the year. I would also add, as a freebie here, if you weren't maxing out your plan, and you don't have to be 50 and older, you could be 50 or younger, and you weren't maxing out your retirement plan from the beginning of the year up until now, and you've got, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 or more that you could still put away into your plan, and you have the cash flow to do it, you might want to take advantage of that, right? Because you only have until the end of the year to be able to max out your company plans. IRAs are different, but your company plan at work, probably a 401k type of plan, you have through the end of the calendar year. With that in mind, if you are 73 and older and you have a 401k, TSP, SEP IRA, 403b, 457, traditional IRA, you have required minimum distributions that are due, RMDs, for those of you that are 73 and older. Or if you inherited maybe an IRA from a parent or someone, you have an inherited IRA, you will also have a required minimum distribution that has to come out of those accounts too. So you don't have to just be 73 and older. If you inherited an IRA, you have required distributions that have to come out. If you are 73 and older and you have any of those pre-taxed accounts, you have forced distributions that have to come out between now and the end of the year. We just met with a lady here recently, and again, we've only got about 45 days left, to the end of the year. She hadn't taken her or satisfied her RMD yet. She actually donates 100% of her RMD to her church that she goes to through a QCD, Qualified Charitable Distribution. And by the way, you only have to be 70 and a half or older to actually take advantage of a QCD. So if you're in your early 70s, while you're not forced to take an RMD out of your pre-taxed accounts, you could elect and decide to gift, tithe, charitably give to a 501c3 of your choice at 70.5 and beyond via a QCD, and that will probably be a better way for you to give or tithe than giving cash in the bank.
Okay.
Because the cash in the bank's already been taxed. The money in your traditional IRA, 401k has not yet been taxed, probably.
Right.
Let's talk about taxes.
Okay.
2 tax strategies you might be able to take advantage of before the end of the year. Number 1, a potential Roth conversion. So this is the purposeful shifting or transferring of dollars from a pre-taxed account into a Roth because you believe that down the road taxes will be higher and that it is smart and makes sense for you to actually move dollars now, pay the taxes today, shift those dollars from a pre-taxed account into a Roth. Well, you still have before the end of the year to do that. That doesn't carry over into next year, meaning if we get into 2026, you cannot go back and do a 2025 conversion. It doesn't go over until April, like a lot of contributions do for IRAs and things. So you have to take advantage of a Roth conversion in each calendar year. It may or may not make sense for you, but for a lot of our clients, we'll talk about it throughout the year, and then they need to make a decision close to the end of the year a lot of times. Okay. So if that's you, make a decision. It might be right for you, it might not be. But you still got a little bit of time before the end of the year to take advantage of that.
Okay.
And with taxes in mind, one final strategy that would be important to look at, if you have a brokerage account, so a non-IRA account, non-401k account, you might have a brokerage account at Charles Schwab or Fidelity or some major platform. In that brokerage account, it doesn't have a tax wrapper around it, right? It's not in an IRA. So you might have NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. Let's just say you have some stocks that you've done really, really well in, but you also might have some losers in there because the markets have been up and down. And the entire stock market is not up. A lot of it's up, especially the AI companies and the technology companies, right? They're up a lot, but not all the companies are up. So you might have a lot of winners in there, but you might have some losers. And so again, we could take advantage potentially of tax loss harvesting. That might be looking at your accounts and realizing some of the winners, taking some chips off the table, getting rid of maybe some of the losers, and trying to offset that tax liability.
Okay.
That's something, if you're working with a fiduciary, retirement planner, financial advisor, they should be looking at for you. We look at these things with our clients. A situation just came up the other day with a client, and the gentleman had some losses in his account. But to actually go through the process of tax loss harvesting in his account, it really didn't make a lot of sense because it wasn't going to move the needle much at all. Okay. So we said, you know what? Let's just push this off into 2026. So sometimes there are opportunities and sometimes there are not. Right. But you have to know what the opportunities are. Yeah. Right. You got to be educated enough, Heather, to say, hey, did I take out my RMD? Did I do a conversion? Did I think about a conversion? Did I think about tax loss harvesting? Have I taken some chips off the table if you've done really well in some positions? Right? Yeah. Have you bought into maybe some positions that haven't done so well that have higher upside? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All good things to look at the end of the year.
And there is still time. As you were saying, it is crunch time, and a lot of us are thinking about Thanksgiving shopping and Christmas present shopping and shopping. Because it just seems like that time of year where we're just hemorrhaging money. But the good news is there might be some opportunities for you to retain some of your money through some strategies on your savings.
Absolutely.
And of course, at Abich Financial, you're here to help us understand what those opportunities might be. The Retirement Key, theretirementkey.com is our website, and where you can go to start the conversation with Abe and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes. End of year options, and to make sure that this is the things you want people to look at. The idea of catch-ups and super catch-ups to their IRAs, their 401ks.
Right.
RMD strategy. Have you met your RMD, your required minimum distribution obligations for the year? Yep. Roth conversion opportunities. Mm-hmm. Should you convert before the end of the year? And also checking your brokerage accounts, looking to see if there's any tax loss harvesting opportunity. They may or may not be there, but at least you know if you have the opportunity to, again, save some more of your money.
That's right.
All right. Well, at Abich Financial Services, Abe and his team obviously here to help you in this process. If you're ready to begin, if you want to get maybe a jump on your New Year resolution as far as getting your financial junk drawer in order, Abe and his team, they are here to help you do that. So it's theretirementkey.com to start the conversation, or you can just click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.